What's good, everybody? It's your boy Morgan Iverson back with another episode of Super Shorts Podcast with my brothers, Danny J. Quick up on the top right, and my big bro. I think he's older than me by like a year. Maybe
I don't
it's
know
at least
how old are you?
it's 37.
I'm 40, bro.
I don't care.
Big bro, what was it? Big bro, it is then.
Yeah, big bro, yeah, three. He's got me by 3 years, but who cares? My boy Javon Stokes. Back in the building. So, man, we got some messy topics tonight. And, you know, I don't know which one y'all want to get into first before we get into what our top five is, which is, I think that's going to be messy too. But the top five for this week is the top five black TV sitcoms from 1990 till now. Top five best. Let me make sure I throw that caveat out there. Now, one of the debates that we had was whether or not sketch shows could be considered a sitcom. And I think all of us, you can finagle it to be that way, but that's a whole separate list, in my opinion. If we enter in sketch shows, that's a whole different thing altogether.
The fact that we're calling them sketch shows, it should tell you pretty much everything you need to tell you about whether they're sitcoms or not.
Yeah, I think there's been enough sketch. There hasn't been enough black sketch shows. I mean, I think there's only like historically 3 or 4 black sketch shows, that you would even consider in a list. But situational comedy, I think you could finagle it, but there aren't any on my list. I didn't include them in this list. So I want to talk about some of the good TV that's been out, because it's some good TV right now, bro. Like y'all what's the name of the show that y'all were watching?
Scenes from a Marriage.
Scenes from a Marriage. That's on HBO Max, right?
Yes. I'll put that up as a thing. So that show, we can't even start there, bro, because I'm pretty sure once we get there, because of the question I posed due to that show, I'm pretty sure we'll be on that the whole rest of the time. So if y'all wanted to,
I think that's a good place to start. I'm okay with starting there.
But that's because you want to. All I'm saying is once we start there,
on R.Kelly,
hard to get into anything else.
We can start on R.Kelly too.
Lord Jesus.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it don't matter where we go.
Well, you kick it off with R.Kelly then, because I can't.
Well, I mean, I'm really interested. One of the things I find hilarious is that say hi to everybody, Junior.
What's up,
Junior? Up with man?
No, you can't stop. I think it's funny that I understand that we want to celebrate and root for everything black, but I feel like some people, you are really distracting. Hold on. I gotta take care of this, guys. I'll be back.
As far as R. Kelly goes, that dude, I don't care how great his music is. I don't care about none of that. This dude did some we say that we want to support everything black, right? And we wish for black people to win, but you can't be destroying black culture in multiple ways like this dude has been doing for his entire life and still expect black people to support you. Nah, bro, we done with that. We not about to let people abuse and traumatize us and still it's like a whole medical condition about that. Like the abused person still wanting to, run back to the abuser. Stockholm syndrome. And we can't, as a culture, we can't have that, man. Like the same thing with there's plenty of celebrities out there who we think are, they're geniuses because they made this or they did that. I don't care about none of that, bro. If you're not a decent human being, I can't support you. I can't support you.
I can't disagree with any of that. I think now I am a big believer in the ability for two things to be true at the same time because in America's culture right now, I think we have a huge problem with that and with the reality of that. Um, R. Kelly is such a toxic person and subject. See, so I mean, when me and my boys were talking about it the other day, it didn't last long only because it's like, look, black people, black men especially, have to eat this. We've known for quite some time about these. You know, they started as rumors and things that were out there. And I will say, when I was growing up,
No offense, but I don't
with,
think black men especially need to eat this. Black people need to eat this.
I think
The
black people have
same.
to eat this. Black people have to eat this for sure. But the reason I said black men have to eat this is because okay, so this is it's a connected conversation, but so in the culture, right, as we call it, especially hip hop culture, there's been such a degradation, a popularity of degradation towards black women that helped to perpetuate a mindset within black culture that made it okay and safe for R. Kelly to do this for as long as it has been done. That's why I say that. It's we've known Freaknik doesn't happen anymore for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Like that culture was not created by anybody but us. We did that. You know what I'm saying? It's still in music now. It's not as heavy in music as it used to be. Like in the '90s, you know, gangster rap and all of that was running everything. But that's still very prevalent, and that helped to make the situation safe for R. Kelly because at the end of the day, it's like, well, who am I to tell that man? Blah 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 blah. Because we talk about big pimping or uh, uh, you know, there's mad songs that we could point to that were extremely problematic with us as older adults now looking back like, or we hear the song and even now it's still a bop or it's still dope or whatever because it takes you back to a time period. But when you think about it as an older adult, it's like, oh, I shouldn't have. Nah, you know what
Yeah,
I'm
but
saying? And R. Kelly,
it's not like women weren't bopping to this too, man. Like I hate to do
yeah,
this.
but we created the culture.
Listen. Hold on for a second. What I'm saying is, I'm not disagreeing with anything you're saying about the toxic nature of hip hop and some of that. Like you're not wrong, but at the same time, women are bopping their heads too. You know, Freaknik wasn't just populated by men. Like they were women that were willingly there and they were willingly showing out, just like they were hundreds of other women.
I
So
don't
like
think Big
that's
Pimpin'.
why I think we as a community got to eat this one because we knew about our Aaliyah. We still listen to his music. We knew all that stuff. We listened to it for a long time, and there are people. Y'all saw the video. There are people standing outside blasting R. Kelly music now
I
after
know.
he got the guilty verdict.
They need to
So
be
there's
arrested.
women out there. There's
Um,
women.
they terrorists, as far as I'm concerned.
A
They need to be
woman
arrested.
bailed him out of jail the first time.
They need
I
to be
know.
arrested.
But
But that's what
look,
I'm saying. That's
I'm
why I'm
not a,
saying
I'm
like I'm just saying that to me this isn't a who deserves more to blame. This is black folks kept giving him a pass, and
This
he
is R. Kelly's
helped
fault.
create the monster that he became. Black folks did,
This
not
is R.
white
Kelly's
people,
fault.
not
Period.
Asians, black folks. Same
Um,
black parents that let their daughters roll up in his house by themselves, spend all that time. They are just as responsible. That's mothers and fathers that did that. Yeah, they went searching for their daughter after the fact, but you knew their daughter was hanging out with R. Kelly.
all right. So the other part of this, I know for me personally, again, some of this is age and maturity, and some of this is that not being sure of what's true. You know what I'm saying? So like, because we went through the same thing with Michael Jackson. They put out allegations of Michael Jackson early. Now it's a matter of people still are up in the air about whether Michael Jackson did it or not. But then you also run into the thing of okay, because somebody says something, does that make it true?
If
You know what
30
I'm saying?
people say there is a fire in the house down the street, you gonna believe that? Are you gonna take the word of it? I mean,
Well,
that's like saying, I mean, do you think it's a mass hallucination? I mean,
no,
there's just too
no,
much
no.
smoke for there not
You're
to be
missing what I'm
fire.
saying. I'm not saying that he didn't do it. The court case makes that painfully clear for anybody that didn't know. What I'm
The
talking about
video.
is us. What I'm talking about is us at the time as younger adults.
Oh, you mean back then? Okay, my bad.
Yes, I'm not talking
I
about
thought you
right
meant
now.
now. I thought you meant no.
No,
My bad. My bad.
no. I'm talking about as adults growing up. I think another one of the reasons that it stayed happening for so long is because people didn't know whether to believe it being true or not. And like I said, and the culture was not the same as what it is now concerning um, women, rape culture, and all of those things. The cultures had to advance because of all the people that have been found to be doing this for so long. Now, men have known for quite some time that they've been doing all kinds of effed up stuff to women. Like that's not been a secret at any point, but
But
it was also accepted as American culture. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
it's not. It's
But I
so
think that
so
there was a point. There was a flashpoint with this when they dropped that, when the video came out with R. Kelly urinating on the young woman.
yes. That's what I
That
just
to
told my
me
boys the other
was
day.
that
I
to
said
me
we
was
should have
the
been done
flashpoint
then.
that he should have been done. That should have been it.
But
But the
remember when
fact
that
that
so
but the
but remember
fact
when
that
that
he
video
was
dropped.
but the fact that when he dropped that video and no and the wide majority of people went out of their way to go, I don't know if that's really him. Look at that. He looked differently. Then I'm like, dude, I saw the video. We all saw the video. That's R. Kelly. Like, I don't know what more you need to see. That was R. Kelly. I mean, that
Well, see, so I didn't watch the video. I saw
I saw it.
it's like still shots, but I never went to watch the video. I just, to be honest with you, I assumed that he did it because we did know about Aaliyah. We knew that was a thing, and we knew Aaliyah was 15. At first, I don't think people knew whether or not there was any truth to that. You see what I'm saying? Some of this is
Right.
some.
I believe what you're saying. I'm just saying that when like all that stuff was conjecture and whispers and innuendo and rumors for a long time. But once we hit that point, once we hit that video should have been it. But the
I
black
agree.
people have a long history of number one being conspiracy theorists, in that they just trying to get at him, and they just because he's a black man celebrate being successful and blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
We have a long history of that, and then two, we
I will
also
say
have a
for good
long
reason.
history, and this kind of goes back to the whole Kanye West conversation we had earlier about Kanye doing gospel when he in the midst of a controversy. And that's what Kells did. Kells went right to gospel. He went right to gospel. He ran to gospel. And black people were like, that's a hot song. Continue. And that's where and then he dropped what was it? He had Ignition out at that time too. I mean, he's honestly he's the master of, oh shoot, something bad's happening. I'm gonna drop the best R&B album ever. And then he drops an album and then people just forget it. I mean, that Boondocks episode was straight on point.
It usually is. I mean, Boondocks is usually directly on point. So I mean, I'm not. I'm glad that things came to a head in the way that they did. Um, I'm glad that things came to a head in the way that they did. I'm glad the evidence was so freaking irrefutable. I mean, that trial, I didn't watch it live, but how they were giving updates daily to stuff and testimony and stuff like that. And I was like, man, there's no way in the world this man's walking away from this right here, bro. This testimony right here is dead to rights. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm talking about, it ain't just, it's not just the amount of women that are saying it, but the people that are telling are people that are close to him that you could say, well, they doing it for the bag or whatever, but everybody involved. I forgot what they reported one day, and I was like, Jesus, like it was just like irrefutable. And honestly, it is a long time coming. He got to eat that, bro, because he's known this whole time that he was skating. He thought he could continue to get away with it, even though, because you think that once you had the heat on you like that, you'd be like, let me chill out. Nah, not this dude. You know what I'm saying? So that's another reason why, bro, you got to eat this and let it, and it's got to be what it's gonna be. You got to get what you're gonna get. Period. Simple as that. What up, Robert? Um, let me get to. Let's get off of that. We didn't give that enough energy. Yeah. So all right, let's go ahead and. Well, Danny said you said you wanted to get into some of the great TV shows, and that can kind of lead into the other question that I had.
Yeah. Y'all were watching a great show, and I was watching a great show. Apparently, this Korean drama called The Squid Game. If y'all have not seen it, it is crazy and amazing at the same time. So the idea is basically these people who are down on their luck, they're in bad spots in life. I'm thinking of it as Saw, but um as a game, like as a reality game. Like
Man, do not spoil anything, bro.
okay, I'm not gonna spoil it, but there's a bunch of people who get put into these like really like childish games, like red light, green light, like things like this, and they have to compete to win a prize, and the prize is like the prize increases after every round, and the catch is if you are eliminated, you are eliminated from life, and it follows this group of people who is trying to decide whether to keep playing the game or to to quit the game and spare themselves, and it gets crazy. Me and Tiana actually put it on, and we ended up binging the whole thing that day. So it was
I'm
solid. It was
definitely
solid.
quitting.
All right, I'll look into it if I get some time.
Yeah,
You know,
Squid
stuff.
Game.
It's
on
tough
that.
to binge watch stuff for me now.
Yeah,
If it
I'm
ain't kid
definitely
friendly, it's hard.
yeah. Nah,
I'm
it's
definitely gonna get onto it
not kid friendly.
because I'm definitely gonna get onto it because you're not the first person to tell me that it was good.
It sounds more kid
But
friendly than y'all show, though. To be honest with you, y'all show sounds savage.
No,
it
actually,
is
well, honestly, can I be real? Can I be real? That show, it's called Scenes of a Marriage or Scenes from a Marriage. One of
scenes.
the
I
other.
think it's scenes from a marriage.
Scenes from a Marriage. It's not really that like it's adult in subject matter, but not in like content.
Yeah, not in content, not at all.
It's really just honestly like if I really want to be real, it's almost like just two people having a conversation. Like every episode is pretty much two people. Like the first episode is like four people involved, but really it's two people, a married couple, male, husband and wife, basically having in-depth conversations about marriage. And the topic that I wanted to talk in this group about was, and me and Morgan, we kind of went back and forth about this for a little bit, but he's got it right there. Is cheating an instant deal breaker for you for marriage? Not you in a relationship, y'all in a long-term relationship, and I'm talking about marriage.
I think it's less of a deal breaker in a marriage. I think if you are in a marriage and because me and Tiana have talked about this, and if you are in a marriage and you decide to that you're going to be with a person your entire life, if the goal is to be with a person for your entire life, there are things that they're going to do that you're not going to like, and it just depends on. It's going to be different for each person, I think, and I think it just depends on what it is that is your breaking point. Like there are certain things that Tiana could do right now that I'm going to be able to forgive her for, and I'm going to be able to move past, and I'm going to be able to continue to love her and be kind and patient with her. And then there are some things for me personally that I'm going to be like, yo, I can't deal with. I just cannot deal with it. And if this is the person that you're going to be, I can't be with you, and the same thing for her. And for me, cheating isn't one of those things. It just isn't.
So what is? I'm curious. Now I'm so curious now. What would be a deal breaker for you?
I can't say because my wife is the type of person that will test me, and I'm not. I will refuse. I won't tell her. I won't tell her what things that she could do that will make me want to divorce her. I'm definitely not telling y'all.
Wait, so she doesn't know?
She doesn't know, and I refuse.
So how does she? So how does she know not to do the thing?
She hadn't done it yet. So She hadn't done it
That's
yet.
playing
So,
with fire, man. That's
hey, I mean,
especially if that's not whatever it is. It sounds like super obscure.
my
Like
stuff is my stuff for me is like it's gonna be stuff that you cannot come back from. Like
burn it must be like burn his comic book collection or something. Just burn it to the ground. Nah, you got to go.
if you
You're
call
done.
this bitch
It's over.
ugly, I
Wrap.
can't be with you.
Nah, it's a wrap. You're done. I think for me, my wife and I have talked about this as well. And for us, cheating is pretty much the deal. But cheating, it seems like cheating is more of a deal breaker for me because I feel like the once you do that, right? Especially if it's an affair, because like an affair to me is like kind of hard to come back from because that's like repeatedly, like you basically was like getting it over and over and over from somebody, and like if obviously if I don't know, that means I'm over here whistling Dixie, like taking care of the kids and yada yada yada. And so I don't. That's a hard sell for me to be like, okay, because like I'm like, well, because you went and had your fun, but I'm still supposed to be faithful. Like, okay, I've forgiven you and we've moved on, but you still have the memory of like all the fun. You were able to get your little break.
See, for me, it's not the physical act of cheating that is the most damaging part. Like the sexual act of I slept with another person isn't the part that would hurt me the most in the cheating. Okay, it's the it would be the okay. I believe that I have a better chance of being happy with another person that would hurt me more as a person than I don't know. Like that's tough. That's tough.
I mean, like I said, it's just hard for me. My brain would always think about it. It would always like I'd be constantly like thinking about it, like especially like if I came across somebody who expressed interest in me, because then I'm like, should I? I mean, I deserve a shot. Like, you know what I mean? Like it sounds petty, but you know.
No. So I wanted to make sure y'all got yours out before I said anything. I mean, so I don't want to spoil anything for the show. I will say for people that are interested in
don't talk about the show. Talk about you. Talk about you. I don't want to spoil it for the show either.
I do want to say the show. The name of the show is Scenes from a Marriage. I think it's on HBO Max. It's a really, really, really well done show. It's only 3 episodes in. I promise you won't be get bored. For me personally, I'm very big on reciprocity. So in like fashion to what you were just talking about, what will bother me most is that you going and you got yours or whatever, but you didn't give me the same freedom. So for me, we're grown ups. You know what I'm saying? That's extremely selfish for you to go and do you. You should at the very least give me the option to do it. And if I don't want to do it, that's fine. But I need to don't have me over here holding the bag while you doing you, and I'm out here being you dully do right. You know what I'm saying? You got me.
Right.
It's not so much about me looking stupid or the fact that I'm even looking to do it. That's not what bothers me. What bothers me is the disrespect of you not giving me the disrespect and the overall insane selfishness that it takes for you to do it, especially if it's an affair. Like you said, like if it's an affair and you're having a full blown relationship with somebody else, but you're not giving me that same option only because you don't want to endure the pain of it. That's a problem. You know what I'm saying? So you want me to endure the pain. You know what I'm saying? You want me to endure the pain, but you don't want to open the door for me to. But it's not about me getting back at you. It's just the fact that you weren't grown enough, especially because for me personally, you would have done better to just come and tell me what's up. Just tell me, yo, I'm really feeling this other person. I don't care whether it's
people have whether
it's sexual or just a relationship.
Like if you tell me, I'm sorry, but if you tell me, look, I feel like I need to go, like that Where I Want to Be song, like Donnell Jones, Where I Want to Be. Like if you tell me, hey, look, I gotta go see, I'm like, all right, I might not be here. I probably won't be here, but you deserve the
Yeah.
right. If you want the right to go, if you want to
That's
do it,
harder.
go
I
ahead.
think
But
that's
you got
harder
to deal
for
with the
people, though.
consequences.
I think it's harder
So-
for people to the honesty in saying, because everybody's heard of the 80-20 rule, right? Most people cheat because
Yes.
whatever
Right.
that 20% is that you don't have in your current relationship is what attracts you to the other person. But people have a hard time being honest about that 20% because it's usually something small. It's usually something small that you're not getting from your partner.
I don't think 20% is ever small. If it's small, it's not 20. And you know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
I
Like
mean,
I
but
just
so.
I
in
think
comparison to what you have, though, in comparison to you're a husband, you're a father, like you take your kids to the, you know what I'm saying? You do all the things that you're supposed to do as a husband, but you might not, buy flowers. You might not be a good conversationalist. You might not be a good listener. You know what I'm saying? Like, and those are things that you can work on. Those are things that you can try to be better at, but some things just not, I'm just saying it's just not in you. Like, I don't like to go hiking. My wife loves to go hiking. So when she says she wants to go do it, I'm gonna get up and go do it. Cause I'd rather her be doing it with me than to go hiking with something. Cause I don't like that. I don't like that. She say, hey, I'm gonna go hiking with this group of people. Who gonna be there? Who in the group? Now we can go. I'm gonna go hiking. You know what I'm saying? I'm the type of dude that's gonna say, but then again, my wife is always comfortable saying to me, hey, you ain't doing this. I need this, and you're not doing it. And I'm the type of person who's gonna get up and try and show effort to do those things. So I think it's
right,
hard
but
for
that's
people to be honest about
but a big part of the show is the lack of clear communication, the lack of actual communication. If we're being real, like if you have zero communication, like I'm talking
spoil
about
it,
like,
bro.
well, I'm trying.
Don't spoil it.
I'm telling y'all, don't spoil it. It's not gonna bother
Yeah, I
me.
don't want to
Nah,
spoil
we
it
talk
for
about
people.
for other
I don't
people.
spoil it
We
for
talk about
people
other.
who've
We
been
talk about
watching.
for other
Yeah.
people.
But a big part, like you said, but a big part of it is communication. Like, but I also think that yes, the 80-20 rule is correct, but at the same point, both sides have to acknowledge that the 20% is probably not as important as you think it is.
It's not.
It's like I think about it's like I think about the movie Why Did I Get Married? Right? The 80-20 rule for the dude was he wanted his wife to be thinner and basically sexier, I guess. Like, you know what I mean? Like he was fine with her cooking and he was fine with how she was, being a good person, but she had gained some weight. Obviously he went about talking about his issue with it the wrong way, but at the same time, like that to me is like some people are just naturally bigger. Like if she's doing the best she can to slim down, you got to be willing to be like, you know what, she's trying. If you love her, then you stick through it. But the 80-20 rule is interesting, man, because sometimes it's actually not 80-20. Sometimes it's actually 20-80, and people don't realize it.
I mean, like I said, for
And
me
in those
personally,
situations, you just gotta go. You just gotta leave. If your partner, like you should have, people gotta be more careful about who they marry and who they make these deals with, because, and this can go into a whole. I don't know if the people in the show have children, but that's a whole nother thing. Like,
you need to watch the show, Danny. Like you're making me mad right now, because Danny, I feel like you'd like the show.
I don't like watching stuff like this with my wife because
you ain't gotta watch. We didn't tell you. I didn't watch it with my wife.
I'm definitely not watching it by myself. But I like if me and Tiana watch it, that's 3 weeks of conversations that we gotta have.
That's fine though. Like sometimes those conversations. Listen, my wife and I watched. We used to watch Insecurity. We watched Insecure together, and Insecure. Awesome, though. But Insecure gave, like, especially the first season, we used to have all kinds of conversations. But that's how you learn about your wife, though. That's how you learn about each other.
I agree. I think that show is tough. It's tough to watch. It's definitely tough to watch. But for me personally, it's extremely inspirational because my art. I want my artwork to ultimately be able to do the same things, to be able to draw out and start conversations that end up making either giving you a different perspective on something, making you think about something differently, making you have conversation that can lead you to be in a better, part of your community, a better husband, a better wife, whatever it is that you're dealing with in your content. And that this show does a really good job of presenting the situation, but also presenting the reality of people's lives out there in the world, and how and it might be a completely different reality of what you're used to. So it's a way to expose you to something that for them is not taboo. It's not, what I'm saying, it's not taboo. It's not any of those things. That's their normal. And now you have to like not be as because there's gonna be like when y'all were talking about things that I think everybody going into a relationship has different things that are natural to you, and usually it's going to be based on how you're built as a person, but also past trauma, past things that you've seen in your life, and past experience that lead you to where you are as far as what's a deal breaker and what's not. You know what I'm saying? And I think everybody, you can have a consensus on some deal breakers, but then there's going to be others that are like what Danny's talking about, that are more obscure, that are just because of something that you've gone through, something that you've seen, something that you've experienced, make it harder for you to be able to overcome that specific thing. And for me, like I said, like it's not an instant deal breaker, but like I said, for me, reciprocity is huge. So if you did that, as long as you're not selfish enough to be like, well, you can't do that to me and say you love me or something stupid like that, I would break up with you over that before I break up with you over just the act. Because the mentality would bother me far more than your action. Your action is not what bothers me as much as your mentality and why you chose to do the action. So
Nah, the
especially
actions mean everything, dude. Actions mean everything to me. Actions mean everything.
But that's why that goes to my point. So my point is different people have different things that trigger them. You know what I'm saying? And those different things that trigger you are those different things that trigger you for a reason that is usually connected to something else that has either gone on some, or whatever. And some of it is just who you are naturally as a person. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna have different triggers. And for me personally, like I said, the action's not gonna make me as upset as your mentality towards what the action displays. They are directly connected. You know what I'm saying? But I do think it also comes with the type of person that you're dealing with, the type of person that the type of person that you're with. You know what I'm saying? If you know you're like in this show, without me spoiling anything,
Don't do it. Don't even go into it.
I'm not spoiling anything. I'm talking about the types of people that they are. One of them is far more. One
is analytical and one is emotional. That's basically
one's far more curt and straightforward in expressing things when it gets down to it than the other is, because one is way more thoughtful and things like that. And if you know that you have the type of partner that is curt, it's like I was watching something. I was watching Men in Black, and they were talking about like Kay kept saying, not to ask questions that you don't want the answer to, and I do think that's a good rule in life. But there are some people that
my kids all the time.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. But there are some things that you can endure. That there are some people that can endure that, and there's some people that can't. And you have to know who you're with. If you know that your wife is the type that's going to tell the truth about the situation, regardless of whether it hurts or not. Like I have good female friends and male friends like that shoot from the hip. Period. And if you don't like it, you shouldn't ask. I need people like that around me more so than I need those who are going to conceal their motives, because authenticity means everything to me. So if you're concealing your motives and concealing why you're doing things or whatever, and we can have an honest conversation, that's going to be way more of a problem to me than the other stuff. You know what I'm saying? So that would make me leave you faster than your action, because your action, to be honest with you, shoot, we could tit for tat that joint. You know what I'm saying? You'd be like, you did what now? How many times? I'll be back. You know what I'm saying? I could be just that, cut and dry about it. And if you want to stay, do
but
it.
I agree with Morgan on this one, because I think people can take actions because of different things. Like you can speed to work. You can be on the highway and speed, and the police officer is not going might not give you a ticket if you are, your wife is having a baby. Okay, that's a reason that you might want to speed. If you just speeding driving reckless because you drunk and high, like you going to jail, bro. Like there's different I mean, I think
So give me. It's because it's so funny. So give me a reason. Okay, I got you. I feel like this, Danny. Not you can answer this too, Morgan. Give me a reason that would allow you to take your wife back after she had an affair.
I love her.
Huh? Yeah. No. I mean, give me. When I say a reason, that's the wrong one. Give me a scenario in which whatever her motivation was, allowed you to forgive her easily to take her back.
I think for me, it's it will be something that I failed at. Like if it was something that she told me she needed and I didn't do my part, and
I'm talking a full-on affair, like sex, trips.
Yeah, I mean
everything, like a full relationship
I
that you had no idea about. You was home, you was taking care of the kids.
That might be too far for me. Like,
that's what I'm asking. That's what I'm saying to you. I'm saying I'm giving you the scenario, and I'm saying
if I was too involved in my work, like, but that might be too far for me because I might not be able to do anything about it. Like if I'm so involved in say I'm so involved in H Blade, I'm doing 10 TikToks a day, I'm selling 100 books, I'm not taking my family on vacations, I'm not cooking, I'm not cleaning, I'm not doing anything in my house, and my wife is trying to tell me, hey, you need to spend some time with us. We want to go to places. We want to do these things. And for 6 months, I'm, not doing what I'm supposed to do as a man. And then I find out, oh, she done went to Cancun with what was your brother's name? What was your cousin's name, Javon, last week?
Don't do that to him.
Yeah, you tripping.
Don't do that to him, man. Don't be put him out here. He gonna be like, yo, dude.
I saw him on Top 5 Live, and I was like, hey, man, he looked kind of handsome.
Trying to get that man in trouble.
Reach out to and then if she would be willing, I would feel like I failed bigger than she did at that point. I failed more than she did in the relationship. Cause I mean, what's she gonna do? She need companionship. She got things that she needs. So if I say then, yo, I'm gonna step back, I apologize, I want to fix it. And if you give me the chance, you know what I'm saying? That might be a situation where it's like, okay, you are the one who physically cheated, but I was the one who was doing the things that, you know what I'm saying? That might be a situation.
It's very mature.
I was gonna say very similar. So I mean, for me, it would be because I've said this for a while, and my experiences, like I have female friends, conversations, male friends, whatever, and we have conversations. To me, when women cheat, if a woman's in love with you, there's almost nothing another man can do to make her cheat on you. What starts to crack the door open is if your woman, like Danny was just talking about, if your wife or your significant other has been, usually if they loved you, they've been dropping hints or just straight up telling you what it is. Now, some women are different because some just drop hints and don't say it directly, and that's something that y'all would have to work out.
Yeah, that's
that's something that y'all would have to work out. But
it's too personal. But is your wife black?
Yeah.
Black women will definitely tell you.
No. Yeah.
but it depends.
That's not true. But you know what though? Let's not do it because that's not true. That's not always true.
I was gonna say it definitely depends.
It's not always true.
It definitely depends because it it still depends on background things and what they saw when they were growing. Like there's all kinds of other things. But the point is, women, if a woman is in love with you, she drops hints of things that she needs, of things that she wants. And if you don't address those, that's the only thing that starts to crack that door open. And it's not that she's looking to cheat. Like, okay, so one of the biggest differences I say between men and women is why we cheat is men usually cheat out of an ego almost all the time. And women cheat because of gaps. or absence, something that she's already been alluding to that she wants and needs, and you're not fulfilling that. So now that starts to crack the door open for somebody else to come and deliver that, and then things fall where they do. It just depends on like what level of it it's at, and in this show you see that, but we can't.
So we should probably stop talking about this. If we're
we'll
not
get
gonna. Danny, your homework is to go watch the show.
Yeah,
watch it with your wife, man. It's okay. Tell her it's all right, man. Tell her we can't. Tell her, you know what? I got you. I got you. Watch it with your wife and then bring her on the show.
Hey, I'll be happy to come on.
Listen, watch it. We gonna do a special top 5 live. We gonna have your wife on it.
We'll check it out. I'm gonna check out half of one episode. And we're gonna see.
Lord Jesus.
Anyway, y'all ready for this? Y'all ready for
this? Let's do this top 5. Let's do this top 5, man.
I gotta get out of here.
I went first last week, so let me reset the room. All right, so
I'll go.
I know. So the top 5 for this week is the top 5 black sitcoms from 1990 till now. Top 5 best. Javon came up with that criteria before, so I'll let him get into what best means. But I'm interested to see what they have, because I had to make a change on mine based on the conversation we had earlier. For those who missed that part of the show about like whether or not sketch comedies count as a sitcom, so that made me reconsider the list, and I made. I had to relook at some things.
I just don't understand why y'all would think it would be.
Hey, don't worry about that.
It's just weird to me. Like, this is sketch. You're not calling it the fact that you call it a sketch. You're calling it something different than what you're saying that you think it is.
Okay.
Hey, don't worry about all that.
That's like saying, "Well, I thought that drama was a sitcom." No, you called it a drama first.
Girlfriends is a drama, but it's also
Girlfriends is not a drama, dude. Girlfriends is a sitcom.
Yeah. Girlfriends is a drama, bro.
Girlfriends is a sitcom, dude. There's a laugh track. They have a laugh track.
Anyway,
tell me I'm wrong.
So go ahead, Javon. It's on you.
Javon's gonna kick us off tonight.
All right. Oh man, I was trying to find the criteria that I had for it. I put it in the Slack channel. I mean, I keep saying Slack channel. Oh, here it is. I have influence, relevance, hilarity, and rewatchability. Those are my 4 criteria that I use for me. All right. So number 5 was a struggle. It was between 2 shows, but I gave it to the more modern show because number 1, the show lasted longer, and I think it's a little more relevant. I think it is relevant, and it will continue to be relevant. Plus, it was wildly successful with 2 spinoffs. Blackish. Gotta go with Blackish. And that's Blackish over Martin, by the way.
Bruh.
Yeah. Number 4. Listen. Number 4. I'm gonna tell you why Martin is once we get into the debate.
Don't tell me anything.
Number 4, I got Living Single.
Okay.
Number 3, A Different World. Number 2, Fresh Prince. And number 1, Gotta Be the Cosby Show.
From 1990 till now?
From 1990 till now?
Yeah. The Cosby Show was stupid successful in the 90s. It was literally the best show on TV in the 90s.
Huh?
Bruh. It went from
if I'm not mistaken, the Cosby Show had 6 or 8 seasons. It started in 1984.
6 or 8 seasons.
It started. I know for a fact it started in 1984 because I was looking at it last night.
The last episode was April 30th, 1992.
Nah, you still got to count the Cosby Show, man. You still got to count.
Nah, you don't. Literally,
yes,
literally.
I do.
So two. Never mind.
Go ahead.
Never mind.
I'll go next.
Yeah, go ahead. Go next.
All right. You already pasted your top 5. All right, so
I got them in here. I'm sending to y'all.
Because I situational comedy, I think comedy has to be the top criteria. It has to be funny, right? So My top 5 are number 5, Living Single. Love that show. Number 4, The Boondocks. Thank you.
The Boondocks.
The Boondocks is a sitcom.
No, it's not, yo. Okay. Go
number
ahead.
Number 3, The Jamie Foxx Show. Number 2, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And number 1, Martin.
Bruh. You
Y'all
only.
disrespectful, man.
Wow. Bruh.
I don't consider the Cosbys in as the 90s till now. That's an 80s show.
Dude, you don't even have a different world,
Me
though.
either.
Nah, the different world
Yeah, but
didn't. It wasn't funny. A different world was impactful.
Oh my goodness.
It was funny,
go on,
but it
Morgan.
wasn't.
Go on,
It
Morgan.
wasn't
Y'all
Martin
talking about
funny.
me, man. Go ahead.
There's not a scene that I can watch and be like, yo, I have to watch this scene from Living Single.
Nah, go ahead. Go ahead. No. Go ahead, Morgan. Go ahead, Morgan.
All right, so my number 5, I'll just give them and then I'll go into the reasons afterwards. My number 5 is Girlfriends. Number 4, Living Single. Number 3, Blackish. Number 2, Martin. Number 1, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
You don't have a different world either.
There's so for me, because of the time period, I can't put the Cosby Show or A Different World on there because the majority of their showtime, you could like A Different World is literally split between the two eras, the two decades. You know what I'm saying? Like I think A Different World started in 1987, and the last episode was 1993. Don't get it twisted. I would have definitely put A Different World in there because of its influence alone. And the Cosby Show automatically would have been number 1, but I don't feel like either one qualified for the 90s because the majority of the time that show was on and running and popular was not in the 90s. So
Y'all
that's why I didn't include them on the list.
Y'all thought A Different World was a funny show though? Like y'all
Yeah.
thought that the episode
Yeah.
who was the funniest character
Just
on
die.
A
Just
Different
die.
World?
Sinbad,
Sinbad
the
was
chef,
like the
Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wayne.
Dwayne,
important. No man, their storylines were more drama driven.
Whitley.
Whitley. Yeah, man.
Yeah, you tripping. Whitley was hilarious.
Whitley was funny and Sinbad was funny consistently. But
Freddie was funny
the
too.
main characters of the show though. I mean, Whitley was.
Guys,
How
can you
about
hear
you
me?
talking?
Because I feel like my joint is frozen. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
We hear you.
Okay,
Yeah, we hear
good.
you.
Can you see me?
Yeah,
Yes.
you move.
Okay, cool. Because my computer's frozen. There we go.
Yes.
Yeah,
Jamie Foxx. I don't think
You got Jamie Foxx over Living Single. Living Single, literally, if there's no Living Single, there's no Friends.
I didn't like Friends either though. Friends wasn't funny to me.
That's not
But
the point.
I've never seen one episode of Friends.
Y'all crazy. Friends is
Living
funny.
Single, Max and Kyle were the highlights
Can't
of
be
that show.
touched.
Them jokers
Can't be touched.
were hilarious,
Who?
but they were not Martin and Pam. They were not Martin and Pam funny.
It's close, cuz.
Nah,
Dude.
they were not.
It's close, cuz.
No.
Look. Kyle and Max were absolutely hilarious.
They were hilarious, but
Every show.
their
Every
chemistry,
show.
their
Every
chemistry
show,
and their characters grew over.
It was
the-
stay
the-
snapping.
Yeah,
Stay snapping.
over
They
the
were just
course-
as funny.
over the
Just
course
as
of-
funny.
And their
And Living
jokes,
Single-
their jokes were definitely better.
Yeah.
Like
it was smarter.
Martin was talking about BDBs and talking about riding horse and stuff, and it's like the physical comedy. Cal and Max like literally cut each other's throats off. Like it was.
But Living Single
Man.
was only 4 seasons though. That's the thing. Living Single
Five.
they didn't have enough content.
Dude, there was a lot, but
It was 5
but
seasons.
it wasn't. Hold on, time out. The reason their lack of further seasons had nothing to do with the quality of the show or how funny it was. That was
Yeah,
all
it was
racial.
5
That was
seasons.
all racial, dude.
I
It
listen.
was
I agree.
all
With you.
racial.
I agree with you. The show, but to me, there are more. I've rewatched Martin more times than I watched Living Single. I've rewatched Fresh Prince of Bel-Air more than I've watched Living Single because of the not just because of the comedy, but because of the growth of the characters, like Martin and Gina's relationship.
Martin is funny, and I rewatch it because it is funny, but it is super problematic now. It's hard. Some of the stuff is kind of hard to watch now. Like I'll be honest, like it really is. Like let's be real. That's why I say rewatchability. Like I can watch some episodes of Martin. I can watch most episodes of Martin, but like I can't. Like Martin wasn't like a revolutionary show. Like, it was just a funny show.
Nah, Martin was a revolutionary.
How was it revolutionary?
Martin,
what was revolutionary about
it
Martin?
was one of the first HBO. Hold up, no, Martin.
It wasn't HBO, but keep going.
Martin show broke barriers, man. Like there was
What
not
barriers did Martin break?
People weren't doing Def Comedy Jam type jokes on sitcoms at the time. Like there was, you not getting the problematic stuff.
Martin was raunchy. Martin was raunchy.
Yeah, the problematic stuff that you're talking about.
Martin was raunchy, but like it ain't revolutionary. Like Blackish is a revolutionary show. Like you got to give it its props. What you mean? No,
number 3 for me.
Nah, I'm saying
how was Blackish not revolutionary?
What I'm saying is that black people weren't doing. Black sitcoms were not doing what Martin did its whole run. Like Martin came out the
Red Fox. Red Fox was kind of
not his sitcom, not
yeah.
Sanford and
Son, sir.
Raunchy like that.
Have you watched Sanford and Son?
Have you watched Sanford and Son?
Compared to
sir, have you watched Sanford? Just answer my question.
Yes,
Sanford and Son is worse than Martin on that.
Yeah, but Martin's comedy is way raunchier than his show. So what are you talking about? He can't say
it's not even comparable.
So I don't really understand what you're trying to do here. Like Martin's stand up is way raunchier than his show. And just like Red Fox's stand up was way raunchier than his show, but he still was on that edge. Martin just kind of took what he did and kind of went further. Like Martin, and I love Martin. Once again, I love all these shows for the most part. Martin was revolutionary in that it was a black show being led by black characters and mostly a black cast. But once again, it was one of many at that time, because that was a time where Fox was just cranking them out. Fox had a whole lineup. Fox had like Living Single, Martin,
UPN came out.
NYPD Undercover or whatever, New York Undercover.
New York Undercover at the time.
Right. So it was revolutionary in the fact that it had a whole black cast, and it was one of the first to do it. But as regards to like subject matter and stuff like that, like not really. It can't touch what Blackish did, like what Blackish is doing and what is, you know what I mean? Like, and Blackish is funny.
But dude, I don't know.
Blackish.
As far as funny goes, Martin is my number one, because Martin has scenes that I still die laughing. Like I'm still in tears laughing every time I watch it. The other shows were more character driven, yes, but that's why comedy, the laugh factor is my top criteria with sitcoms in particular.
But even Fresh Prince was fun. In my opinion, Fresh Prince was funnier than Martin.
I don't think so.
I think Martin has more. So okay. The comedy is different. Like Will did different comedy. It is. Will did do slapstick comedy. So did Carlton in the show, but
not like Martin.
So the reason I had mine ranked the way that I did, Blackish. To me, Fresh Prince is the standard for black sitcoms because it melded for this time period, because it melded comedy and great storytelling, it putting black people in a prominent place, you know what I'm saying, as far as the show, like Uncle Phil being a lawyer.
Cosby Show was there first. Cosby Show was still Cosby Show was still.
I said for this time.
I understand what you're saying. In the 90s, in that early time, even at 92, Cosby Show was the highest rated show on TV.
But the majority of the Cosby Show took place in the 80s,
but it was still at its peak. It was still in its peak at when it went off.
Let me get y'all a question, because both of y'all had Blackish. What is Blackish did that Fresh Prince and the Cosby Show didn't do?
They have spinoffs. They have more spinoffs than the Cosby Show.
I would argue,
Blackish got two spinoffs, bro.
It's got two spinoffs. It's got another one coming.
Name another sitcom in history that got two spinoffs.
Y'all watch the spinoffs though?
Actually, I have watched.
Yes.
I have watched Grownish.
I haven't watched Mixed-ish, but
I didn't get to watch. I haven't watched Mixed-ish, but I have watched Grownish.
I haven't watched Mixed-ish, but Grownish is good though.
So
exactly what Robert said here. Exactly what Robert said here. Blackish is definitely the modern day Cosby Show.
It is the modern. Yeah, absolutely.
Grownish is 100% a different world. It's just new age. Like it's no question. And I guarantee you they were following that model. Like I said, the only reason the Cosby Show is not number one is because of the time period that we did this list in. The Cosby Show is the greatest black sitcom of all
just for
time.
me, I can't because I can't not have the Cosby Show number one because it was dominating back in '92. Like it was still at literally the minute they turned the lights off, it was the highest rated show on TV. There still ain't been
to me, you can only so you got to cover 30 something. Like this goes back to your argument in other shows that you try to get me on. It only covered. You always talking about the like how long.
I'm saying, and I said between that time, the shows that took place. I didn't say that started in 1990.
That's 2 years. So you have 2 years of it being dominant.
And my point is, was there another show as dominant as the Cosby Show since?
When Fresh Prince came out, the Fresh Prince, especially his last episode,
Fresh Prince almost got canceled after the first season.
Yeah, bro, are you trying to tell me right now that Fresh Prince was not?
Nah, Fresh
Prince was not near the Cosby Show.
Got real hype around the third season, but
it never reached. There's never been a black sitcom that has the ratings of the Cosby Show. If you find one, please tell me.
I'd have to look into that, but my point is the only point that I'm making is that literally the only reason the Cosby Show is not on my list is because we said from 19.
I understand why it's not on your list. I'm just telling you why it's on my list. And I'm saying in those 2 years they were still dominant.
I almost put Moesha on my list, but
I knew you would.
Yeah, we already
did. I would have got off. I would have got off. I would have literally been like, I'm done.
We already knew.
The fact that you got Jamie Foxx show on there is kind of.
Jamie Foxx is hilarious today.
Jamie Foxx is hilarious, but it ain't better than. It's not better than the Fresh Prince. It ain't better than Living Single.
I don't know if it's better than. I don't know if it's better than the Wayans brothers.
Nah, bro. Don't do that.
Jamie Foxx. Hey, now.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Nah, bro. The Wayans brothers was funny.
Like that. It ain't funny. It ain't funny to Jamie Foxx.
Don't try to act like the Wayans brothers weren't funny.
It wasn't funny to Jamie Foxx though.
Steve Harvey show was good.
Oh, Steve Harvey show was good. I like Steve
Harvey show was good.
I thought Morgan was gonna have Bernie Mac on his.
I did.
Nah,
I really thought you were gonna have Bernie Mac.
I didn't watch that. I didn't watch that sitcom. I love Bernie Mac, but I never watched that sitcom like that.
You know, I've only watched like one episode of that sitcom. Total.
I didn't make the list though. Stop it. Anyway, I gotta go, y'all. Man, it was a good conversation. I can't wait to get back on with y'all next week. I gotta get out of here.
All right, I got 5 minutes.
Hanging with Mr. Cooper.
Hanging with Cooper was cute. It was a cute show.
I don't know if that was that out in the 90s.
Yeah, that was 90s. Maybe late in the 90s.
That wouldn't have been on mine. That wouldn't have been on mine. The ones that were close calls for me were definitely, like I said, the only reason that the Cosby Show and A Different World were not on my list is because of the time period that they ran. Because they started so deep into the 80s. That's the only reason. Because like I said, the Cosby Show started literally in 1984. A Different World started in 1987. So and it's not like they ran deep into the 90s. They barely ran into the 90s at all. So I couldn't count them. If we were doing greatest of all time, especially like influential, it's automatic that the Cosby Show and A Different World have to be on there. There's no way that you could have a list and not have them on there. Blackish would have to be on there too, in my opinion. I don't think Blackish is absolutely this generation's version of the Cosby Show, and it's not close.
So the reason why I didn't put Family Matters on my list is
it was one I thought about.
Is like, have you tried rewatching Family Matters now? Like it's like hard to rewatch them. Like they're silly now. Like the whole Urkel thing, it's like it hasn't aged well for me. Just for me. Like I loved it at the time. At the time, I was biggest.
I want you to pay attention to that comment right there.
You got to give me some stats. You can't just. You got to give me something. You can't just say it. Man. Say it too.
Wow. So you got to give me some facts. Anyway, when I was looking it up last night, The Cosby Show was crucially high rated for its time period. Of course, it dominated its time period. But to say the
Right.
Fresh Prince
That's what I
never
said.
touched the Cosby numbers, I think that's silly. I don't think
You got it.
I definitely don't
Just
think
show
you can say
me.
that. Well, Martin neither, because Martin had both of those shows
Martin
had
never
like
had big numbers like that. Martin was really niche.
Come on,
When I say niche, I mean like Martin's show at the time. It wasn't like beating like. Let's be real. It wasn't beating white shows, was it?
There are no black shows to be white shows besides the Cosby's. And I don't even know if the Cosby should beat the white shows.
You're saying I'm giving the ratings from the Nielsen ratings. You haven't given a rating, yes. Yeah. What is the highest rating? Like
I think he wants you to post a link to what you're saying, man.
Yeah, like you got it. You're not giving me facts. You're just telling me
he just doesn't want to believe facts. That's all.
No, I don't have a problem. Tell me if I'm wrong. I'm wrong. I don't have a problem. But you're just saying it. That's like me saying,
well,
hey, Tom Brady has more touchdowns than such and such. Well, how many does he have? I don't know. It doesn't.
You said it with such a disdain on your voice.
No, I'm just saying, like you just talking, like you just making a statement. Anyway, but the reason, like Family Matters, it doesn't. It's not the rewatchability.
I don't think. Yeah, I don't think Family Matters. You can't. I don't think at all. Did you like you just said? I don't think you could go back and watch Family Matters and still laugh today. There ain't no way. Did I do that?
I actually did because I was on recently. I was up early enough and I was watching it and I'm just like, man, this ain't that funny.
I don't think there's any.
I don't know if
there's any way possible.
I almost put Girlfriends.
Girlfriends had to go on there for me. One, because they had 8 seasons. Two, because it was extremely revolutionary to have an all-female led.
Well, that's why I had Living Single over them. That's why I had Living Single over them because they're using the girlfriend. The girlfriends are using the blueprint for a Living Single. It's pretty much the same.
Living Single's in front of it on my list too, but Living Single's up there. Like, so my show, the shows that I have on here, I have huge rewatchability. That I can literally go watch those episodes right now and still bust out laughing. But also the impact on like either black culture and black jobs in that field, you know what I'm saying, going forward due to their success, or just how revolutionary the show is. Like Blackish in this time period doesn't have an equal as far as sitcoms. Mostly, I mean, well, in that vein, because Insecure is one of the. I thought about putting Insecure on there, but I almost feel like
I didn't because I looked at it like as a dramedy.
Yeah,
it was like a drama.
So I looked at it as something different, but Insecure is absolutely one of the best. That show is awesome. You talking about a conversation starting show?
Yeah,
oh my god,
you could consider it a sitcom, but it seems
very seriously. I very seriously almost put it on there, but I was like, nah. I said I'm not gonna put it on there only because we're at 4 seasons. We're at the last season now. It is it's one of my favorite shows for sure. But there's definitely some moments in there.
If y'all telling me not to put Cosby Show in Different World because of the time period, I would have put probably Martin and Girlfriends. Martin would be my 4 or 5. I would just move everything up. But my reasoning behind A Different World and Cosby Show is because they were still at their peak in the beginning of the 90s, and their peak was so high, it's hard for me not to acknowledge them where they belong. I
was reading something last night on A Different World. Like towards the ending season, especially the last season, it got canceled because the ratings have been so low. So I was reading that last night. The Cosby Show I know had one of the most watched final episodes of all time of any show. But again, we're not even. There's no conversation to be had like questioning the greatness of the Cosby Show. Now we know again it's very similar to the R.Kelly thing. We know Cosby. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? But again, at this point, we're just talking about the show, you know what I'm saying, in itself. And the Cosby Show is one of the most revolutionary TV shows of all time, and it's not close. So, I mean, again, the only reason it's not on this list is because of the time period that we dealt with.
All right, I got to log off, man.
No, it's all good, man. Hey, look, y'all, I'm still blocked on Facebook, so I can't post a poll or anything.
I'll try and put up the poll at some point.
Yeah, Danny or Javonna put the poll up so y'all can vote on the list. And y'all can make sure that if y'all got suggestions for what y'all want us to do next week, let us know. Definitely, I'm gonna say it again. Make sure y'all go watch that show, Scenes from a Marriage, on HBO, because it's intense. Not in like any type of violent way or anything like that, but it's just a really good show. It'll definitely cause you some conversation. We appreciate y'all coming through, man. Make sure y'all tell people about us. Make sure they subscribe at the Fourth Wall Pros. We always stream here. We always stream to YouTube, so you never miss an episode. And and now we have a separate playlist on Fourth Wall Comments for you to be able to go through and watch all our shows. So we definitely want to make sure people subscribe. Y'all tell people about the show, man. Make sure they subscribe so they never miss anything, and make sure they join. Make sure y'all join the fan page on Facebook, Top 5 Live Nation on Facebook. Join the page. We have a whole bunch of silly conversations, other polls that we do during the week, and just funny or interesting things that you can come in on, man. We appreciate y'all so much. Help us spread the word. Love y'all. See y'all next week.